Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're just waiting one extra minute as we're seeing everyone's now joining. We can just do a quick introduction to the Building Radar webcast. We do this once a quarter. It's really a review of what's happened in terms of updates in the construction sector using Building Radar's data, and we'll get a little bit into that in the later on in the presentation. What we like to do is kind of break down the market, have a look at what's changing, what's gained, what's been lost, and then add a little bit of qualitative analysis to that as well. I think we could get started. So, I'll introduce myself. My name's Joe. For all the new listeners, I'm the head of SDRs here. I work with new business and new customers, mainly in English-speaking countries, to help them understand Building Radar and see if we could help find new projects for their export and procurement teams. This is Simon. Simon, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you very much, Joseph. Yeah, my name is Simon. I'm working at Building Radar since 4 years in the customer success team, and I'm happy to host another webcast for the second quarter of 2021. We also have the German webcast monthly. The English webcast is quarterly. And yeah, the agenda for this quarter looks like this. We want to answer specific questions. Mainly about the construction activity internationally, right? So we show you some numbers on the total number of new construction buildings, construction sites, our algorithms found internationally, so mainly as you will see, in the US and in the UK, but also have a look on how many of these leads were firstly found in 2021 or in comparison to were updated in 2021. So this means we got a notification about a new construction site before 2021, so maybe about the Spatenstich maybe in 2020, and now we got the additional information that this the Richtfest of this construction site is finished, for example.
Perfect. Thank you, Simon, for that introduction. Just quickly again as well, for those who don't know, Building Radar, we're an AI solution that crawls really the public domain to read data points on construction projects to help discover new construction projects at the earliest time possible. We can collect this data, enrich the many data points. We can enrich this data to create final leads for construction companies or anyone really in the construction space, be it product producers or service providers. And we use this data today to then kind of give you a breakdown of the market. So, Kaz, if we want to get started.
Yes, and maybe one thing to add, this should be pretty interactive. So we will, I guess we will be finished within 15 minutes or 20 minutes. We have plenty of time for questions, and please tell us your questions whenever you want, right? So if there's anything about this slide, for example, you might wonder, or which we do not explain, please, tell us your question. So what do we see here? This is a plain comparison of 4 different regions: United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Ireland. We always differentiate between different regions. So if you see these numbers here, these are numbers on construction sites by region. And this tells us that in 2021, for these 4 countries, most of the construction sites were spotted in the United States. In total, over 34,000 construction sites. This can include office building, mixed-use buildings, but also road construction, for example, which we will see in one of the next slides. So everything which is connected to a construction site is spotted here.
Yeah, and absolutely. We want to point out the new builds versus updated. So these are The light blue is then new construction projects that did not exist before, and updated are existing projects that have moved on to a further stage. And I know we'll probably get into this because I know this is a huge topic right now in the construction space. It's the price of materials. And we're seeing that impact the amount of new projects as projects become exponentially more expensive to first off build, and second off, if you're thinking of building something, to plan on a budget for. I mean, we'd love to hear from you all in the boots on the ground here. That how is it impacting your business? Have you seen a shift? Have you seen a change in your business? And has it changed the way your business is being done nowadays? Perfect.
Yeah. Maybe also add to the term updated in 2021, so that this becomes clear to everybody. This means we have information on a specific construction site already before 2021. So it could be that in 2018 we got a notification about that any firm plans to build a new headquarter. In 2019, there was the Spatenstich, which I do not know the English word for, but maybe Joe can help out here. And now finally in 2021, we got another update on, let's say, a specific construction phase completed, for example. And yeah, new in 2021 again means totally new information to Building Radar. Yeah, the numbers are highly different, right? But should come with no surprise that we find way more construction projects in the United States than in Canada or in Ireland, for example. Might be interesting how these results look like in detail. So we start with United Kingdom. And we start with first question. This should be a live poll. So the question will be displayed soon. Question is, what do you think, which building category has the most reports of new construction projects which are found via the Building Radar algorithms in 2021 so far? So which of these 4 construction categories contribute most to the numbers you just saw? And again, if you consider a single construction road project, would also count as construction project.
All right, perfect. We're seeing about 50% of you all have voted. Let's give it another minute.
70%. And we have a, yeah, let's wait for 80. Perfect. Cool.
So 63% of you are saying residential, 13% are saying industrial, and 25% are saying infrastructure. 0% of education or science. So Klaus, if you want to go to the next one, we can see that.
Yeah, how can I let me find out how I can reshare my, yeah, here it is. Okay, perfect. So results would be exactly as the results from the poll look like. So indeed, residential projects contribute most to the new construction projects in the United Kingdom, followed by infrastructure projects and industrial projects. Education and science slightly behind.
Absolutely.
But these would be the total numbers of construction sites. So over 3,600 construction projects in United Kingdom. And in case you are a Building Radar customer and you know how our platform looks like, how our leads are structured, this would be information about one single construction site merged together.
Thank you, Klausi. And so, I mean, just looking at the trend here, I mean, those have watched our previous ones. You know, residential is always very strong segment. Especially after Corona, we've seen this really pick up as offices become, you know, less attractive if people aren't in them. And so we've seen this one pick up steam significantly. Infrastructure as well. We've seen this. We see this especially in Northern America and but also in the UKI. This has also been a strong sector through the coronavirus. It has seen a lot of growth as well as a lot of plans in spending the money to build and to stimulate the economy there. Industrial is always strong as work needs to be done. Hospitality did shrink, I guess you could have said, of last year, but has come back stronger as well as people are starting to plan for back to normal life and then to build towards that as well.
Exactly. Cool. I see no questions from the audience, so let's continue and have a look on the residential. Oh no, first have a look at the distribution. So these would be the percentage numbers of new items in 2021. And as you can see here, what we just saw, residential projects contribute 28% to the overall. But let's have a deeper look into the residential projects. As you might know, we differentiate between categories and subcategories. So what you see here would be subcategories of the residential projects and apartment buildings, apartment construction sites. This could be also not only single apartments but also multi-store apartment housings contribute most within the category of residential projects. Way behind caring homes, dormitories, this would be student homes, etc. And yeah, so pretty clear what we provide here, right?
Yes.
The maybe as comparison, we also have the numbers for Germany. So this is again the distribution of categories between United Kingdom and Germany, whereas residential categories most strong for United Kingdom. In Germany, the infrastructure projects contribute most to the overall distribution. And maybe also interesting, the landscaping projects. Landscaping would be everything if you consider if there is a new parking, not parking, but a park area, or everything you have in the like Fußgängerzonen, for example. So what would that be in English?
So like pedestrian areas, inner cities of towns, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot going on there.
Yeah.
And quite interesting as well as the UK, you'll see this later on, does break away kind of from the norm that we're seeing in the countries, in our English language countries. The reason why we picked Germany is it is our home base. We are based here in Munich, and so we always use that as a relative comparison. We don't know 100% why, but residential has always been the strongest in the UK, whereas others usually seeing infrastructure, especially with coronavirus. You've had a lot of stimulus payments or stimulus development contracts to get people out to work, especially in the space of infrastructure, to redo roads and to rebuild bridges and create tunnels and lay down tracks for trains. So we see this segment grow.
Exactly, and maybe also not surprisingly, most weak category in both countries is office. And as you might know, our time series graphs, we show plenty of times, and this also comes with no surprise. But let's switch to the results for the United States, which are also a little bit different. So also in the United States, the infrastructure contribute most. Again, office buildings are way behind. You have the landscaping projects somewhere in between, but surely industrial projects, residential projects, and infrastructure projects contribute most. And yeah, if you have any questions on this in detail, if you would like to see these numbers for a specific region, for example, please feel free to contact me. I will provide, you will see the email address on the very last slide. If you don't want to ask any questions by now, But yeah, these would be the numbers for United States. In percentage, this infrastructure contribution would be 25.3%.
And comparing this to the last session, we have seen, if we just jump back to that previous slide, residential has grown about 1.6%, which I know it's a small number, but when you talk about the US, it's usually quite big. So we did see that grow significantly. And infrastructure as well has grown from quarter to quarter. Industrial has stayed the same, and as like Claudia said before, office was the weakest one. It did shrink from quarter to quarter. So we can go to the next one, which kind of looks into the US's largest segment in the infrastructure segment, seeing how it's broken down. Like we see, road almost 50%, bridges 22%. Like I was saying before, there's a lot of money being handed out, a lot of infrastructure plans and redoing of old infrastructure projects that they're really undertaking now and trying to fix. So you see a lot of work happening there.
Exactly. And yeah, last but not least, let's have a quick look on some time series data you might know from our monthly webcast, which shows something pretty interesting, that the construction activity we measure for United Kingdom sharply increased to a different level than that for Europe since around end of January, start of February, which we do not see in a comparison between construction activity for the United States and for Europe. This activity we measure here is connected to the COVID pandemic. So we measure this from the starting point from March 2020, last year. And this is indeed an indicator for how the construction activity developed in relation to the pre-crisis level, right? So we take the March 2020 benchmark as pre-crisis level, and both United States, Europe are more or less on pre-crisis level, whereas United Kingdom is more than 25% above. The reasons for that might be there might be various reasons for that. We can provide the numbers, and we are open to any questions or suggestions, or possible reasons for that. However, from my side, there's nothing more to add to these numbers for today. As mentioned, please feel free to send me an email with your questions. We will provide the slides after the session. You will get an email notification with the slides. Joe, is there anything to add from your side?
Yeah, just as a parting note, if you are interested in seeing the sort of projects that we could find for you that are in your market, we'd be happy to set up a demonstration. Like Simon said before, please feel free to reach out after this, and we'll be happy to set that up, have a conversation around what you're looking for, what specific projects and what specific time, and then we can show you what sort of information we show up on that platform. So thank you all for taking the time to look at this data today, and looking forward to the next one.
Perfect. I see no questions. So have a good day. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.